Here I am on Las Vistas Beach in Los Cristianos, and have you ever wondered what it's like to live in Los Cristianos or maybe have a holiday home here? This video is going to help you. I've split Los Cristianos up into four, north, east and west, and then the central part I've put as like centre, town centre, and then I've put Old Town for being like the original buildings around by the port and by Los Cristianos Beach just over there. So if you ever wonder what it's like to own a property here in Los Cristianos, you will know the best places, and we'll also find out where, if we didn't have so many dogs, where I'd like to live. I don't know if Anna would like to live there, better ask her first really, but where I'd like to live in Los Cristianos as well. Let's get on with the video. So we're going to start off with the northern part of Los Cristianos, between Parque Santiago 6 up to the hotels, up towards the motorway there, towards the right hand side, which is just land now, and then back down to the bottom right hand corner, which again is just land. So this is the main road coming into Los Cristianos, and on the left hand side we've got this load of land here. Now all of this is going to be hotels in the future. So we're on this main road down here. On the other side of the road here we've got exactly the same sort of layout, just loads of land, but these hotels here have been up here for ages. So you've got Granada Park, you've got Villa Mandi, you've got Gran Oasis as well, I think it's called. So these hotels here all are very, very close to the Las Americas golf course. You can see that just off there in the distance. And they've been here for years already. But this is the work that's already been carried out in this area. So it's sort of a walkway, nice sort of relaxing. There's got palm trees and paths and things like this. And as I say, it'll be surrounded with hotels in due course. Now off in the distance there you can see the Los Cristianos school, and just to the side of that you've got a swimming pool here as well. It's an outside swimming pool where I think they do some championship swimming. There's only one real sort of full-time residential complex of any note in this area, and that's Edificio Simon, and it's got this supermarket here. It's also got a number of restaurants and bars. There's a pharmacy, I think there's a vet there as well. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a central place to live. I think it's mainly residential. I wouldn't think there's many apartments there for rent. So going down Avenida de Chayofita down to Parque Santiago 6, this is just a massive modern shopping centre. So you've got plenty of bars in there, clothes shops, there's a big Mercadona. Next door to that you've got another big pet shop there, Koala, and a Chinese shop selling bits and bobs. So at the other end of Parque Santiago 6 you've got the court for Arona. Now this is at the back end of the complex, Parque Santiago 6, and you've got Compostela Golf just here, which looks right out onto the golf course there. So really the north is going to be, I mean it's at the moment it's just a whole load of land and a couple of hotels, and of course we've got the Edificio there, Edificio Simon, and the Parque Santiago 6. It's really going to be, by the looks of things, a whole load of hotels. So we'll now look at the west side of Los Cristianos. I'm using Montaña Chayofita as sort of the border. And we'll start off at the Tenerife Royal Gardens there in the bottom left-hand corner, up to the football ground, the Los Cristianos football ground, along to Parque Santiago 6 again. They include the hospital, and then back down to midway in Playa Las Vistas. So starting off here at Tenerife Royal Gardens, this is right on the seafront. You've got other options such as Compostela Beach here. Now these complexes are right at the start of the Golden Mile, so it's just where Zara is. You can see the Monkey Bar there as well. And at the end of that you've got Vista Sur, which is another shopping centre here. So this is the absolute start of the Golden Mile. So it's where the big two towers are, Torres del Sol. You've got a couple of bars there as well, and right in front of that of course you've got Las Vistas Beach. Now this beach is really, really popular, so if you're buying anything in this area and you're close to the beach, well, you've got a great situation. We're close to Vintasol here, right on the beach. Now Vintasol was developed in the 1960s to help people recuperate from accidents and injuries. Right, we're also at the bottom here of San Telmo, so obviously a nice view out there onto the beach. San Telmo's got lots of bars and restaurants, so again a great place if you want to be buying in this area. Everything's right on your doorstep. Now that might then translate into a bit of noise on your doorstep as well, so it's something you might need to consider if you're buying any of these buildings here. Fantastic views, hop, skip and a jump across to Las Vistas Beach. What more could you want? But you might have to put up with some noise because it's going to be a really popular area. So at the bottom of the road here, the San Telmo Road, we've got this roundabout, and that white complex there is called Azahara. Ideal for full-time living, you can live there full-time, perfect for a holiday rental if they allow it. So here we've got the main sort of side of Torres del Sol. And all of these complexes in this area are ideal. You've got a Mercadona just up this road here, and shops and bars in the easy locality. Now this complex here is called La Punta, but the one I really, really like in this area is El Paso. And it's almost as if you don't even realise there's a busy shopping centre in front of you, because in front of you here you've got Zara, and then you're at the start of Golden Mile, and the inside is just really, really calm. And I mean, I really do like El Paso, so again, ideal for holidays. Now just up the other side of the Mercadona there, you've got this area here called El Camisón. You've got this massive electrical store here, and across the road this complex is called El Camisón, sort of townhouse type complex, perfect for full-time living. And we're right close here to the hospital. Next door to the hospital, you've got the football pitch, which is right at the top left-hand side of our area that we're covering in this video, and then of course on to the Arona Courts and the Mercadona there. So the west of Los Cristianos is really nice. Majority of it's just a short walk down to the beach there, down to Las Vistas Beach, and you're well served with Mercadona and shopping and restaurants in that area as well. So now we're going to look at the eastern side of Los Cristianos. So I've made this from Pico Tropical right on the front there, up to the market, going up to the language school there, and up to the paddle court at the top. So we'll have a look at this area. So this is Pico Tropical. There's 3 phases for Pico Tropical, and one of them is right on the seafront, in fact in front of these lots of buildings here. Now this building, this complex here is called El Rincón, and behind me is the Guaza Mountain. It's the mountain that splits Los Cristianos and Palmar. And then you've got the row of townhouses here, which is called Parque Tropical 3, and you've got this row of, I think it's about 8 or 10 villas here, which are right on the seafront. I mean, you can't get a much nicer view from there. And now we've got this tall tower here, which a lot of you will know, and that's Costa Mar. So we've got Paloma Beach there again. You can do holiday rentals there. Great position to be in, and right opposite the beach. Walking along the road here, we've got a nice selection of bars, and you've got Iceland, and on the right hand side you've got the Superdino, and this complex which is called Cristimar, and it's becoming really popular there. Los Angeles, again on the same street. Los Angeles is actually in front of the Arona Grand Hotel right on the seafront, so again you know where you are, it's just across the road from the beach. Now at the other end you've got the market, so this row of bars here is just behind the market. It's just nice to sit there and watch the world go by. Some of you will probably know that next door there were a load of squatters, but they got them out I think at the start of 2021 or maybe the end of 2020. Now it's all been boarded up so they can't get in. But here's the market. It's open on a Sunday for sure, and I think it's a Tuesday market as well. And across the road, we've got Jardines del Sur and Jardines Canario. They've both had their swimming pools done as well. And just the whole area just looks a lot nicer for it. And again, they're really, really popular because they're right in front of the beach. Easy flat walk into town from there as well. Right, so we've got the taxi rank right next door to the market, and that building there was Comodoro. Now up this road here on the left-hand side, you've got Sur y Sol. Sur y Sol's got a place in Anna and my hearts, because this is the first place we ever stayed in Los Cristianos. I think we stayed there probably 18 months. Just a bit further up the road on the right-hand side, there's this urbanisation, let's say. It's a group of, I'm going to say, 10 bungalows, something like that, called La Perla. They're all private houses, and again, a really easy walk into town. Up there, we've got Victoria Court 2, really popular holiday destination, and I think long-term living on there as well. And if there's a Victoria Court 2, there must be Victoria Court 1, and here it is. So this is right next door to Victoria Court 2. So over the back of Victoria Court 1, you've got this complex here called Playa Graciosa. It's the complex with blue tiles on the roof. There's 3 phases to this, and all of them are really, really nice. It's like tropical gardens when you go inside. I really like this complex. In fact, I really like this area. Now, this is Parque Tropical. So this was the second place that Anna and I lived in when we were in Los Cristianos. Really nice and well looked after, and a lovely pool area as well. The only thing I would say is that at the moment, a lot of these have got a nice view out across this land down to the sea. But this land here, I think they'll be having a hotel built there one day. As I said earlier, this is the end. So you've got Parque Tropical 3 and also these villas here right on the front line. So going back to where we left the main road there at Victoria Court 1, we've got a complex called El Mirador. Now this is quite a large complex made up of 2-bedroom apartments. The downstairs apartment has a garden and the upstairs apartment has a roof terrace with those spiral staircases. Now this is built just behind this row of bars. You know, if you're near to that sort of row of bars, you might have to put up with some noise, but it's a great complex and really, really central. You've got the shopping centre here, the Passerella Centre. Now opposite the Passerella Centre, you've got 2 complexes here. One is called Portofino and one is called Porto Nuevo. And they were both built around the same time, and they both have a very similar name, so it can get very confusing. This is Portofino here, the one with the white villas, and Porto Nuevo is the one with the townhouses up behind me. Now behind these villas here, you've got this complex called Los Ceres, and behind that, the white one, that is called Summerland. Again, great residential place. Some of them will be ideal for holiday as well. I'm sure they allow it. Now these complexes are right next door to the language school here, so if you're coming over and you want to learn some Spanish or any language, I think they do English and Chinese and everything in there, then there's the place to go. So moving along now towards the Guaza Mountain, so here you've got the Hotel Paradise Park, and then just behind that you've got Dinastia. Nice place to go on holiday, great place to own an apartment, again because you're quite close to town, you've got plenty of bars and restaurants around you as well. This complex here, Los Diamantes, again really popular holiday destination and plenty of people live there permanently. And the Heights here, again mainly residential, and there are some holiday apartments there too. Coming back in towards town, you've got Castle Harbour. This is a really popular complex with holiday makers. Even though it's up a steep hill, you do need to bear that in mind, but there's plenty of bars, as we've just seen, further down the hill, so you can always stop off for a bit of liquid refreshment if necessary. Now in front of Castle Harbour you've got El Cardón, which is this complex here, which is next door to the Porto Novo complex that I was talking about earlier. Now behind Castle Harbour and the Heights, you've got this area here which includes Royal Palm, which is an ideal holiday destination. I think you probably find some people live there permanently as well. And Port Royal, holiday complex as well as permanent residency. A lot of people think that there's a massive hill to climb up to here as well, because not only do you have to climb up as far as Castle Harbour, you have to go up another hill. So just be aware of that as well. But hundreds of people live in this area, so they can't all be wrong. You've also got another complex here called Colina Park, again mainly residential that I think. So going up this road, so this is Oasis, which is in front of Castle Harbour. You've got these residential properties here. You can see the Heights in the background, and there's Castle Harbour there. So you can see the steepness of the hill. Opposite the road from those residential properties is Vista Hermosa. So there are, I think, 4 phases to Vista Hermosa. You've got the villas here, and then you've got a selection of apartments. Some of these have got really nice views across Los Cristianos and out to La Gomera, so obviously sunsets are going to be really nice from the balconies there. And nice, quiet area. Listen to what was going on while I was videoing this. So just a bit further up towards the motorway, we've got a paddle court here, which is a bit of a mixture between tennis and squash. And then just next door to the paddle court, you've got this Mesetas del Mar complex. So large villas, townhouses, which are predominantly residential, but I think people do let them out there on holidays as well. Now this photograph is from a fair way away, but there's this group of houses right on top of the hill. I think these would be quite nice to live in. You'd have to have a car because it would be a heck of a walk back down the hill, and then going back down the hill from these houses back down to the language school. You've got Los Arcos on the left hand side, and then Los Olicios and Los Sauces as well. The eastern side of Los Cristianos is a good mixture of residential and holiday complexes, and the majority of those complexes are in easy distance to the town centre and the beaches. So I split the last part of Los Cristianos into 2. So this one I'm calling the central area. So it's really from, again, sort of the language school, going down Avenida Chayofita to the Montaña Chayofita, down towards the church square there, and across to the hotel, which is now called the Sol Arona. Used to be called Princesa Dacil. Okay, so opposite the language school, you've got the complex on the right-hand side called Seromar, and the complex on the left-hand side, we've already mentioned that, that's called Summerland. Both ideally situated because it's a short walk down this hill here, down into the town. This hotel here is called Aquamar, and then on the opposite side of the road there you've got Funchal, which has loads of popular bars in it. Then at the bottom here we've got Tenerife Sur, and we've got Cristian Sur as well. Tenerife Sur is more of a hotel. Cristian Sur do have properties for sale, and a really, really popular holiday destination, once again because it's on the flat, easy walk into town, and it's just a really nice complex. Now, I did say to you I'd let you know where I'd like to live, but I'd have to ask Anna first. But this house here is opposite Cristian Sur, but it'd be absolutely hopeless with us with the dogs, because they'd be looking out, seeing everyone walking past and barking their heads off, so I don't think we'd last there very long. And very close to these areas here, you've got the Apollo Centre. Bars, supermarkets and restaurants in this shopping centre. So while I was filming this roundabout, but have a look at this white car here. It's come out, and then it'll decide to cross in front of this one, and the silver one will just carry on round. I mean, it's just absolute madness. Across from the roundabout, you've got this central complex. We'll talk about that in a second. But it really does start residential from here. You've got blocks of apartment complexes all the way along this road. Plenty of shops and bars to service the people living here. And this road here goes all the way up to Montagna Cialfita. So this is really where we're going to stop in the eastern side. So coming back down towards the centre of town, again, many more residential complexes. Not really holiday complexes at all. None of them are going to have swimming pools, but ideally situated for the centre of town and a short walk into the beach. This block here is called Edificio Valdez and also the Eden Centre, so really the absolute dead centre of town. Residential in there. Again, I think I've seen some apartments advertised there for holiday. And across from the Valdez, you've got the San Marino complex. Popular holiday destination for many people and also long-term residents as well. The only downside that some people say about there is that there's the bus station right outside, so it might just get a little bit noisy. And then coming down the road from San Marino down towards the Sol Arona Hotel, the tall one, you've got this area here. It's fully residential, although probably some are rented out for holidays. Not really a holiday type complex. Right next door to the Sol Arona there, and a short, easy walk into town and the beaches. And then opposite the Sol Arona, you've got the Guayero building, you've got El Carmen right down there on the seafront. Plenty of buildings here. You've got La Estrella, you've got Achacay as well. So these buildings here are right on the seafront, but because they're right on the seafront, they would have been an early build, probably 70s or 80s, something like that. But absolutely fantastic views of the sea there. So now we're going to move on to what I'm calling the old town. So we're going to be going from the market across to Las Vistas Beach again, looking at the residential area on the southern side of Cialfita, and then up to the church square. So this is now the road which would go down to the church square. And we've got plenty of residential buildings here moving forward, lots of apartment complexes. In fact, the one on the left-hand side has just been totally renovated. And this is the other side of Achacay, Crisol on the left-hand side, and down the end there we've got Santa Amalia apartments. Plenty of residential here as well, all in a sort of area of a minute away from the beach. There's Fesa, and then the building next to that, I think that one's Bahia, and then the next block down, as I say, so we've got Santa Amalia apartments there, and then we've got Bucanero. I think this is Bucanero here. So we all know this pathway going down to the children's playground at the end. So here we are walking around the side of Santa Amalia apartments, and then you know where you are. You've got this nice little sort of area here where there's some cafes, and then straight out onto the beach. So here we've got Los Cristianos Beach that looks out onto the harbour. And you can see here loads and loads of residential complexes. But Los Cristianos has got all these lovely lanes, and this is where we find them. So if you're thinking about buying something right on the seafront, any of these buildings here would be ideal for you, and really central. This is the road that goes down from the church square down to the beach, just full of apartments that potentially could come up for sale. So built into the hill up behind the church square, you've got complexes like Eucalyptus and Cactus, and there's also some private properties here as well. I don't think we'll ever get to see those come up for sale, because I just think that these sort of properties are the ones that are then passed on through the families. Got another really popular complex up here, long-term and holiday destination called Horizonte. A fair walk up from the beach, probably about a 10-12 minute walk up from the beach up to here, but the big benefit is these absolutely fantastic views. So if you're thinking about something that must have views, just remember they are built into the hill. This is Avenida Suecia, the road that runs behind the church square. So again, plenty of buildings here, really 100% residential. This is another one of my favourite buildings here. This is Edificio Fontana, right in front of the office here. Lovely little lanes, loads of bars, and right next door to the beach. So you've got Los Cristianos Beach one side, and across the road, and you've got Las Vistas Beach. So this would be the residential area here for San Telmo. We're at the top of San Telmo now, so you can see all the shops here. Plenty, again, of residential. These buildings won't have pools, but of course you've got the beach within about 30-second walk, so it's irrelevant really. And the roundabout here at the top of San Telmo, and again leading us back into town, going towards the church square, and of course ending up at probably one of my favourite places of Los Cristianos of all time.